a woman.
What?
Love women.
But not like transgenders.
Dude, I feel like I grew up with people all like I grew up with kids all like this. See, this is the problem. This is the problem from all angles in this situation. We have retards. Like, from all angles. Damn it, I wanted to defend Sneako, but he's too stupid. When we were 12, 15-year-olds, everyone was making cracks at the gays. Everyone was making cracks at the transgenders still to this day.
I'm all fine with people saying, hey, I don't want this stuff in the classroom. I don't want all the LGBTQ stuff in the classroom. Okay, that's fine. But think about where these kids are getting their messaging.
Wait, what the fuck? LGBT flags, books, information in the classroom, in the school education system that is governmentally required for all kids to go through? Did he just equate that to fucking Sneako, who's a live streamer that, yeah, some kids can choose to watch him? Lyrics, you know Sneako's required in 5th grade? Yeah, dude. Science, math, fucking Sneako's misogyny, telling bitches to get in the kitchen.
Did you say?
Daily videos coming on that channel. Good stuff is coming.
Fuck the woman. Fuck the woman.
What? No, wait.
Wait, what?
Fuck the woman. Fuck the woman.
What? No, wait.
Sneako.
We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody.
Good one. Dude, that was me as a kid. That was me like 4 years ago. That was like everyone in my high school.
Yo, j'étais pas prêt. I was not ready for that shit.
In case you're wondering what the average...
I don't know where the... You're basically still a kid. Okay, good one.
I was not ready for that shit.
In case you're wondering what the average Sneako fan looks like.
That shit went that way. It went
gets worse,
left,
does it?
Oh, wow. Hey, yo, so young with... Whoa.
At that age, this guy's like 11 or 12 yelling...
Are these guys this surprised? They're kind of like sewing over this. Is that kind of surprising? Like, I saw a lot of people saying like, bro, the youth is fucked. The kids, this next generation with all the Andrew Tates, the Sneakos, they ruined the whole next generation of kids. Is that true? Dude, I feel like I grew up with people all like, I grew up with kids all like this. I don't think I'm unique with that. I don't think like that's a unique thing. I think like that's the average 12 to 15-year-old guy. Like they're kind of sewing out a little bit too much here. Maybe the fuck the women, like fuck women. Maybe that's like a little bit too abnormal. That wasn't as common as when I was a kid. But dude, absolutely. Every IRL friend I know, they would all till this day say some shit like fuck the transgenders. Like to this day. So I think that transgenders thing is very normal, and I think everyone like grew up with guys like that. I think that's very common. But the fuck the women part, to be fair, is pretty abnormal, at least in my experience.
Yikes. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Jesus. Okay, that's a little much. Maybe they're playing up for camera, but...
Whoa, kid!
Oh, merch, preach. What have I done?
Can I get in the video? Fucking talk. Can I get in the video?
Yeah. Talk to him.
Yo, what's up?
Okay, but to be fair, don't you think they're kind of playing it up? I feel like the kids are kind of playing it up for the video, but who knows? Maybe they could actually think that way. I'm getting the feeling that the kids know they just met Sneako, they know cameras in their face, and they're obviously gonna say like some outlandish shit, you know? It's like they're on stage, so to speak. So they're gonna say some crazy shit. Yeah, of course their kids are playing up a bit. I'm getting that. Yeah, I kind of feel that way. I can't say for sure.
It's just funny. I encounter fans all the time. I don't think I've ever encountered anyone below the age of 14.
Or screaming stuff like that.
No. Anytime anyone's ever approached us, it's always been very calm and cordial. Very, very calm and cordial. But just imagining seeing my fans and that's what they yelling. You want to see what his response was to like?
Sure.
They are children and obviously joking. This is how I was at 12. But if it sounds egregious to you, blame the rainbow flags in their classroom.
Okay, Sneako. Okay, Sneako, that's I don't know. Is that the reason? The rainbow flags in the classroom? See, this is the problem. This is the problem from all angles in this situation. We have retards. Like, from all angles. Sneako's a tard. The people putting too much blame on him for these fans. They're tards too. So it's kind of indefensible all around.
Blame the media for emasculating men.
No.
What? No, come on. That's not. That what is that really where it stems from, dude?
No, my guy. No, my guy.
Damn it! I wanted to defend Sneako, but he's too stupid.
It's your fault for
fully
forcing an
defend him.
obvious agenda, not these kids. Boys will be boys.
Boys will be boys. Okay, he's interaction baiting. He's playing the Twitter game again. This guy just doesn't give a fuck about any. Sneako doesn't care about any nuanced conversation anymore. He's just there to like rile up his echo chamber, I assume.
A lot of the audiences these people foster in regards to people. It's like a lot of this stuff. Were you ever yelling shit like that when you was a kid? Let's be fair.
Come on, be honest. Okay, these guys. Abin preaches pretty leveled usually, but be honest. Everyone was saying, come on. When we were 12, 15-year-old, everyone was making cracks at the gays. Everyone was making cracks at the transgenders still to this day.
I think the biggest thing I might remember is watching rappers and yell to get money. All I'm trying to say is we also grew up with media influences that weren't exactly.
I think the one thing that's throwing me off about the kids' comment is that, like, if they would have said something like, dude, I got my bitch making sandwiches at the age of 12, or get the women in the kitchen. If they would have said some shit like that, I feel like it would be much more, I guess, understandable from my point of view from looking at it. Because with the memes I told as a kid or people around me, it's never just like fuck women or just like fuck gay people, you know? It's not like that blatant. It's usually like there's a joke to it. So I guess that's the one thing that's throwing me off about what the things that kids were saying.
It's just he's a negative influence of today.
Yeah.
But even when we were growing up, there's a lot of hip hop artists or whatever you was watching that were sending some wrong messages, and kids was listening and simulate that stuff. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like rap music made a bunch of my homies gentlemen when I was a kid.
Rix, why are you such a leftoid?
But
Am
I
I
was not necessarily
leftoid?
repeating those stuff.
Maybe not you individually, but the people around you.
Wow, you asking me.
I mean, it doesn't make what he's doing fine or good now. It's just recognizing that the same way we had bad influences today, a lot of these red pill losers are a lot of the bad influences for young men today.
This influence conversation just gets kind of cringe, dude. I think it's only criticizable to say, like, these people are bad influences if they try to be a role model to, like, the youth. If they, like, try to... Like, Andrew Tate. I would say he's probably criticizable because he paints himself out to, like, his personality, his whole gig is trying to be a role model to, like, young men, trying to save young men. So if he's putting himself out there as that's his goal and that's his agenda, then yeah, I think you can criticize him saying, actually, hey, I don't think you're the best role model. You kind of rose to fame and got rich off of pimping out a whole bunch of whores. So if that's the way you rose to fame, I don't think you're the best role model for young men. I think that's fair to say, but I don't know if Sneako is trying to make himself out to seem like a role model. I know he's definitely more on the Andrew Tate camp of side of things and ideology, but does he try to like be a role model to kids? I feel like that's cringe. I feel like if a YouTuber says that, they're automatically like called a complete fucking loser because it's like, dude, you're a YouTuber, you're a streamer, you're not a role like. Stop thinking you're too pretentious. You know? I'd say he's definitely trying. I think that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. If he presents himself as a role model, then I think it's a fair critique to say, hey, you're probably not that good of an influence, pipe down, motherfucker. But if he just presents himself as an entertainer, I think this whole morally effing over, oh, you're a bad influence on the youth, I think that's pretty silly to do. Because it's like people like Eminem, when he made his rap music, he didn't want to be a role model. He said, dude, I'm not a fucking role model. I'm here to be a tard, make money, and make funny music. The kids shouldn't go and do the things I say in rap songs. The kids shouldn't do what I'm saying. You know what I mean? He didn't sign up to be a role model. So I think it just comes down to what that person's individual goal is and whether or not you can criticize them for being a bad influence. Maybe. I don't know.
It's funny because I remember when they were trying to ban Andrew Tate everywhere, a lot of school teachers were saying, oh, this is a negative influence on my students. The students are coming in and saying all this stuff. And I'm like, you gotta be exaggerating. And then you hear these kids going, kill the gays, kill the gays.
Like, I think I just overall hate the arguments of, this is a bad influence on the kids. Like, so much shit is a bad influence. I think the better agenda to push is saying, hey, parents, do what you can to try to parent your kids the right way. Make sure they don't, do stupid shit at young ages. Do the best you can. Try to teach good values instead of trying to restrict entertainers on what kind of content they can produce, what kind of content they can do. You know what I mean? Because I don't think we should be shackling people like Sneako on whether or not he can make jokes about women being in the kitchen. You know what I mean? I think it's a better agenda to push that, hey, we should just have parents push better values that are,
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
And I'm like, oh, maybe those teachers weren't lying. There's a little bit of that whole him complaining like, oh my God, look at the rainbow flag in the classrooms and all the programs.
Like at the end of the day, for me personally, I think the freedom of expression to do what you want and say what you want to say kind of trumps most things, So I think that should be like one of the last things ever as humanity that we should take away from people.
I was like, bro, you're also programming the kids too.
Definitely. 100%.
If your flag is just a woman being beaten up or being hated on or being called stupid or whore, but you got your own flags.
Abba, what? What? I assume he's being a little hype. He's being pretty hype. He's being hype. Holy fuck.
Beaten up.
He's using hyperbole by saying like, oh, your flag, you're pushing the agenda of women being beaten up and people being misogynistic for women. Like, really? Is it that extreme?
But you got your own flags. And these kids.
It's like the thing is though, these guys are comedians. Like they actually do comedic shows. So like a similar argument that they defended in the past is saying that, hey, just because I tell a joke up on stage, I should have the freedom to do that. And just because I tell a racist joke doesn't mean I now co-sign a whole bunch of people to go call Jewish people slurs or black people slurs. Like you should be able to say jokes or say certain things and not be 100% responsible for like the if someone takes that message and use it in a malicious way. Like if people are taking Sneako's message or jokes and use it in a malicious way, like beating women. You know what I mean?
They fly it proudly. They sing the anthem without even you asking.
That makes sense.
It's interesting because they keep complaining about the indoctrination of children. But you got a bunch of kids just yelling your name randomly and repeating a bunch of foul shit that you've been saying.
If that's not indoctrination.
You look at these kids. Oh my God, look at them yelling pronouns. Look at the kids that you're fostering yelling how much they hate the opposite gender and that they think that gays should be murked.
That's crazy.
Wow. Programming.
Kids are impressionable though. They don't understand nuance to the same extent people who have grown do. Yeah, I understand that. I just don't think people like Sneako should be held responsible for that though. Sneako should be able to still tell jokes and give his full fleshed out opinions as offensive as they are. And he shouldn't be responsible because the kids watching him are impressionable. I think that's more on the parents.
And if you ask these kids, they wouldn't even be able to tell you why. So that's where you see the programming. When you're just repeating some stuff, you don't know why. You don't know where that's from. You don't know why you're saying.
I mean, this is like similar to like the iDubbbz argument with the N-word. Like when iDubbbz use the N-word in a comedic fashion for the sake of a skit to say against Tana Mongeau, people were accusing him of saying, "Hey, that made internet culture and that made that contributed to a lot of real world material harm to black people and created a culture that was more racist." And now they were holding iDubbbz for being like he was accountable for that, and as if that's his responsibility. When no. If you take iDubbbz's arguments of all are okay or none are okay, or using the N-word in context and using it as a joke, if you take that argument and use it in a malicious way to try to like actually be racist to other black people, that's not his responsibility. That's not his fault. You know? And I think that's a ridiculous standard to push on other people. I think it's best we don't do that.
But you're saying it.
Yep.
That's programming right there.
Yeah. And let me ask you.
Hope that makes sense. I gotta get used to talking on screen.
12-year-olds talk about murking the straight people. But if you keep it in that stack, let me know when y'all heard that. Not from adults. I'm actually talking about kids. Because that's what we saw on screen. We saw kids yelling that shit. I'm all fine with people saying, hey, I don't want this stuff in the classroom. I don't want all the LGBTQ stuff in the classroom. Okay, that's fine. But think about where these kids are getting their messaging.
IRO streaming is what I want to do now.
Whoa. My brain's gonna explode. Wait, what the fuck? What? Did he just equate LGBT flags, books, information in the classroom, in the school education system that is governmentally required for all kids to go through? Did he just equate that to fucking Sneako, who's a live streamer that, yeah, some kids can choose to watch him? There's a huge difference. Come on, dude, Abin Preacher usually so smart. What's going on right now? What's going on? That difference is so huge. Kids are forced. Like, that's the whole problem. That's the whole reason why there's an uproar for LGBT propaganda, whatever you want to call it, in the school system, and that it's getting shoved down their throats, because the reason they're saying it's being shoved down their throats is because it's forced to be there, because their kids are forced to go to school, and it's forced in there by government mandates. You know what I mean? Kids aren't forced to watch Sneako. Kids aren't forced to watch random retards online who may say some offensive things and then parrot those offensive things that they say. That is the parent's responsibility then. That there's such a huge distinction between those two. What the fuck am I? What?
Fine.
What that
But think about
comparison
where these kids are getting their messaging.
completely
IRL streaming
ridiculous.
is what I want to do now. There's only so long. You can only do this for so long. Like, how much can you really talk about Neon dating coach? That's hilarious. But yeah, it's like it's just so much more fun. I can't even lie. And let's be honest, the red pill is.
Lyrics, you know Sneako's required in 5th grade? Yeah, dude. Science, math, fucking Sneako's misogyny, telling bitches to get in the kitchen.
This is why when so many people are telling me like, oh man, he's my mentor, it's like, this loser barely has his life together, doesn't have any of his own opinions really solidified, changes his opinions every week. One day he's a Muslim, the next day he's doing drugs and threesomes, the next day
I mean, like, things like this is fair. Like, you can make general statements about Sneako that he's a complete tard. I mean, that's absolutely true.
back to red pill. The next day he's like, red pill's stupid, I'm done with it. It's just, you can't take goofballs like this seriously. And it's not even like I said it before, it's just
Like, Sneako is way too old to be as stupid and flip-floppy with his opinions. Like, he changes his opinions every few months, like, drastically.
thing. And people are like, oh, that's super dismissive. Like, when you're in your early 20s to mid 20s, like, you figuring shit out. You're trying to latch onto ideas to feel comfortable with yourself and the world around you. Him switching up like this, everyone's like, oh, it's a grift, he's a liar. Maybe. Or maybe he's just a young man who's realizing that life isn't what I thought it was. And that's normal for people who get into adulthood and start taking on responsibilities and taking on different ideas. That's it. That's it. But the thing is, do you want to spend time listening to young people ramble about shit they barely understand as if they were experts? Me personally, I'm too old for that shit. What about you?
I mean, yeah, you can criticize the credentials and the content of what Sneako is saying. That's absolutely legit.
The only reason I know these people is because of you.
Sure.
Like, you don't have to, like, I don't think it's worth taking Sneako's opinion on many things, like, as a genuine source about anything, to be honest. Like, he's gotten to be pretty stupid these last few months.
Way too old for this shit.
Okay.
Like, if you're too old for this shit,
Yeah.
I'm geezer.
Yeah, it's like taking Aiden Ross seriously. Like, Sneako is much more became an entertainer as opposed to like a intellectual powerhouse or whatever the fuck you want to call it, or like a guy you go to for opinions, you know.
Yeah.
like, but it's all good. I understand it because I was at that state. Like, you say stuff that you think you know with so much, like, you're assertive about it and so much, that's the truth, nothing is, like, I know, cause I know.
Okay, good one. Okay, I think they're just going over more broad things about Sneako after this. They already went over the awkward young fans thing. Yeah, that's what I wanted to cover for that.